Hi, I'm Tucker Balch, and this is Computational Investing Part 1. For this video, we're going to look at how to compute some of these values we had talked about using Excel. So first, we're going to get some data, load it into Excel, and play with it a little bit. So let me go right now to the web. And there's lots of great sources of data online. Both Yahoo and Google Finance provide historical prices. So we're going to get historical information about a stock and assess it using some of those metrics that we had talked about before. So I'm going to start by getting data about Apple. So Apple is AAPL. I'm just going to step you through this and show you how to get this data. When you go to Yahoo and you type in a particular symbol, you can then go down to historical prices and tell it which dates you want. So we'll get data from December 1, 2011. We'll just get a month of data till December 31, 2011. And we'll get prices. Hold on, we want to get it as a spreadsheet. I think that's down here. And that's the data you get. We'll pick it apart in a second, but in fact, I've already opened it up in Excel. One thing to tell you about is make sure that you save this data as CSV, comma separated values, and then you can read it easily into programs like Excel or other spreadsheet programs. Okay, so I read this data on Apple into Excel, and you can see we have these columns here. There's of course the date, and there's open, high, low, close. Volume is how many shares traded that day, and the data that we're going to work with here is adjusted close. One thing to point out here is that adjusted close is actually different than the real close of that day. And the reason for this difference has to do with dividends, and I'll explain that in a later session. But remember, for now, just look at adjusted close. Okay, one thing we need to do first, notice that the dates are going backwards. So to work with this data appropriately, we really need to have it ordered in the right order. And the way you do that in Excel is you click on everything and then you go to Data, oops, up here, Data, Sort, and you can tell it to sort by, let's see, I'm not seeing it. There we go, by date, and we'll go oldest to newest. Boom, and now everything's in the right order. So it's important to have it in the right order before you start working with it. Okay, now since we're only going to work with adjusted close, I'm going to go ahead and delete all these other values so it's easier to work with. Okay, and now we just have adjusted close. All right, so first thing let's calculate. Let's calculate total return. So remember, we talked about it earlier as annual return. We're really only going to do it for 1 month, but that's okay. So we'll just name that cell there. Anyways, what all total return is the final value, remember, divided by the first value. And we actually want to take one away from that. So that means for this month, Apple returned 4.4%. Let's do one more. Let's calculate daily return. And our very first value, daily return, is always 0. But then going forward, it's simply today's divided by yesterday's. And again, we subtract 1. And so that's the daily return for that day. And now we'll just copy that into all these cells. Whoops, I did it wrong. Copy, and then meant to say paste. Okay, so now we have daily returns. We can, sometimes it's nice to format that into percentages, a little bit easier to see. So these are our daily returns in terms of percentages for each day. Okay, now we talked about calculating Sharpe ratio. Let's do that real quick. Well, actually, let's do average. Let's do average daily return and standard deviation. Okay, so that's easy. Just do this. That's our average daily return, and now we'll do standard deviation over the same data. So this is our standard deviation and then our average. Let's make them both a little bit easier to view. Take away the we'll take away the percentage and just view them as numbers. They're very small. So remember, this is average daily return, and this is standard deviation of daily return. Okay, and then remember, a Sharpe ratio is square root of 250 times our average daily return divided by standard deviation of daily return. And that's it. Sharpe ratio for Apple is, for that month, is 3. That's a really high Sharpe ratio. It means it did well. And those are, that's how we calculate these values using real data in a spreadsheet. In the next video, we'll talk about the first homework, which is to build a portfolio and calculate these ratios for a number of investments you might have made in 2011. That's it for now. Thanks.